Am I the meanest?
Sure enough.
Am I the prettiest?
Sure enough.
Am I the baddest mofo low down around this town?
Sure enough.
Well, who am I?
Sure enough.
Who am I?
Sure enough.
I can't hear you.
That means that we punched our ticket to go try to win a Super Bowl, and that's it. We got one game at a time, starting at 1 o'clock on Sunday. Love y'all, boys. Love you. Love you. I'll go to war with every single one of you, every game, all right? Love you, 1-7. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Win.
Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have your doubts, not what I'm about, have your fucking clout. It be raining now, I keep making sound, go another round, bitch I'm legend bound, can't stop me now. You don't wanna fuck with me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can.
It's showtime.
Welcome to Monday Night Uncensored, Bills Mafia edition. What is up, Bills Mafia? I am solo tonight. I'm gonna get a little background music. You know, I like the background music, so it's not totally dead air. By the way, guys, the link is in the chat. It's pinned in the chat. If you guys want to join me at any time, talk a little Buffalo Bills football or whatever the fuck you want to talk about. You know, it's Monday Night Uncensored. By the way, we got a good game going on right now between the Ravens and the Lions. Obviously, if you're a Bills fan, which you probably are, that's why you're here, you want the Lions to win. The Ravens just scored a touchdown. They went up 21-14. A lot of game left. Let's get to some of these comments real quick. Sandra King, good evening. Oh, what's going on, Sandra? Trek reviewer in the building. What's going on? Spin. Detroit defense needs to stick them to their hands. Yeah, man. I thought they had a great stop in the first half at the goal, but then they wound up giving Baltimore the ball right back on a 3-and-out, and then Baltimore quickly scored before the half. So a mistake there for the Lions. The Lions tried that 67-yard field goal, which was damn close. I gotta say, it was really close. Just off a little bit to the left, but man, it was damn close, man. That kicker there has a big leg. He was from, I believe they scooped him up a couple years ago from the UFL. So good kicker, man. Had the distance. Yeah, it sure, bro, it did. That definitely did. That could have probably went maybe a couple more yards past 69, 70. I mean, he had the leg. Like you said, the distance was there, 70 at least, right? So, and it wasn't that off, right? Like, man, I'm sure he's like, damn, I almost had an NFL record. Walking Fade with Jacob. Where's Mikey? Mikey is on jury duty this week. So if you guys are wondering where Mikey is, Mikey has jury duty, unfortunately, and I probably will be here solo Friday as well. So you got to deal with me on Monday and Friday, unless I get a co-host on Friday, a special co-host to join me. But yeah, and by the way, too, I just want to let you guys know, Fridays moving forward for at least a month, basically to the end of October, we will only be doing 1 hour podcast on Fridays because I'm needed at my old bar to do security for a month. So I kind of, I made a promise that I would do that. So just a heads up, guys. Normally we do 2 hours, but on Fridays, for now, it's going to be 9 to 10. so I can get to work by 10:30. So just a heads up, don't be upset at us, but that's just the way it works. Give me 1 minute, guys, and put the fan on. The fan. All right. I'm back. All right, let's see here. The kicker rule with the ball adds all of yards. Yeah, it does help. Absolutely. Don't get Dan Mitchell. Dan Mitchell's my dude, man. I co-host with him on the days after the Bills games. The only reason I didn't do it this past week was because he was in Buffalo. So he didn't do a day after podcast. So yeah, all season long, for the most part, I'm with Dan Mitchell the day after a Bills game. So he's my dude, man. Welcome to Faith. Can I email you? Yeah, cool. Yeah, just hit me up, Jacob. I'll let you know because I'm not sure what I'll be doing there. I usually got Jacob not Jacob. I got Jarek. Usually who fills in when I need somebody, or Aramis. So, but I'll let you know. Go ahead and email me anyways, and if something else happens, I'll definitely keep you in mind. I appreciate that though. Let's see here. See if I missed any other chat. No, I didn't. Okay. So guys, man, what a crazy weekend of football. We obviously talked to you last on Friday, Victory Friday, and we're on this little mini bye week. But man, I'm gonna tell you right now, I promise you, a lot of parlays were fucked this weekend because nobody saw the Browns beating the Packers, and I don't think anyone saw the Panthers laying it to Atlanta the way they did. As a matter of fact, I had Atlanta. What did I pick? I picked Atlanta on. I even played it safe and put Atlanta plus like 7, and they just got whooped. So it was a crazy weekend of football. A lot of blocked field goals. The Jets almost made a comeback, but the Jets did the Jets thing, and of course they lost the game anyway. So all for naught, right? And it was an awesome block return to the house, but it meant nothing. Laporta's having a game, yeah. Laporta's a really good tight end, man. But it is what it is. We got our tight end, same draft. So, but yeah. So let me go over some of the scores over the weekend. So obviously you guys know the Bills. We did our thing, 31-21. It wasn't a pretty win, but we got the job done. There's things we definitely got to correct, right? There's definitely things that need to be fixed. But it's always great to start 3-0. But yeah, there's things that need to be corrected, especially in the second half when we start playing the better teams on our schedule. So, the Texans are asked, yeah, man, there's a lot of teams that are just, I don't know, man. They're just not looking good this year. I got to say, even the Chiefs, even though they won, they just, they just do not look good at all. I'm very curious what they do at the trade deadline if they go and try to get more help for Patrick Mahomes, because their offense is just struggling. Their defense is keeping them around, but their offense, I don't know what's going on with KC. But once again, if they make the playoffs, all this is out the window. Who cares, right? They're that dangerous. So, but right now, early on, man, they do not look right. But yeah, let me get these scores. So Packers lost, like I said, 13-10. They had a chance to win it, and blocked field goal. It led to a Browns field goal with no time. Unbelievable. I did not see that happening. They were up 10-0, pretty much in control. And I got to say this about the Packers. Really good defense. But their offense is just it's not very good right now. I got to be honest with you. It's inconsistent. Jordan Love is one of those guys. He's very inconsistent quarterback. He has the tools. He has games where he looks really good, and then he has other games where he looks average, man. So it's really odd. It's really odd when it comes to Jordan Love. Look at the Lions getting cute here pulling things out of their bag. You will never see the Buffalo Bills do this. Like we McDermott, I'm telling you right now, I would be shocked. Like and look, I'm not saying we have to do trick plays all the time, but it's just not in our DNA, man. Oh, great pass by Jared. Did he catch that? Oh, what a fucking pass by Jared Goff. And I'm not even a big Jared Goff fan, but that was a great pass and great catch too. The defense was there. St. Brown with a wonderful catch, but that ball was thrown perfectly. Kudos to Goff. Man, dude, he put it right there, man. I mean, the defense was fine. I mean, he was a little behind them, but St. Brown, actually, I take that back. On the replay, St. Brown got him on that stutter step. And he just, you know what? The defender just couldn't get back in time to make a play on the ball. It is what it is. I mean, that's you got to get back on the play. So that was a great pass, great catch, and it's 21-21 after this extra point. It is 21-21. Man, this is going to come down to the wire, huh? This is a Monday Night Football game, guys. This is what I'm talking about. Like the NFL did everybody right tonight, right? Like you can't complain if you are a football fan tonight. Forget it doesn't even matter if you're a Lions or Ravens fan. You're watching a great game tonight. It's Callie Blitz. Yo, what up, Callie? Where you been, brother? Missing you, man. Our defense gonna cost us this year, Callie. You know me, man. I keep it 100, man, and I'm gonna say it like I've been saying it until proven otherwise. This offense is going to have to go ham in the playoffs because we're going to make the playoffs. Come on, guys. We all know this, but the offense is going to have to play nearly perfect football in order for this team to make it to a Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl. I mean, these are just the facts. We have yet to clean up our defense. It's still the same old. Matter of fact, I have an article here that I'm going to pull up in a little bit, which is crazy, but we already know it. This isn't like anything that's new, but it's unacceptable, right? The third and longs. You guys know where I'm going with this, but I'll pull it up later. But man, my God, it's the same thing. And this is why frustrations are get built up by me, by a lot of Bills Mafia, by other podcasts out there. You can't keep, living you can't keep going by false hope and, we'll get it right next year. Although we're only a couple players away, right? If we just get this edge rusher, if they just make this trade, well, guess what, guys? We don't make the trade. We don't get the right guys in the draft. We all think we need a one tech, right? We all are on board with it, and they don't draft a true one tech, right? They continue to do what they want to do, which they think will work, but it's not, and that's the problem. Like it's not working, and we're in the same situation every playoff loss, right? We're sitting here talking about the defense. Very rare do we sit here and talk about the offense after a playoff loss. I would say twice that I can remember offhand where I did a post game and I was like, you know what, that was a total team loss, right? The Bengals was a total team loss, and the Chiefs 2020 game, the AFC Championship game, I thought was a total team loss. I thought both sides played bad. Outside of that, the defense has let this team down so many times. It's just unacceptable, and it's just look, man, like I hate ragging on the team because we're 3-0 and we're a good team, but I'm gonna be real with you guys for a second here, man. I get comments here and there, not from you guys, but from certain people that say we're too, me and Mikey are being too negative. And who do we think we are? Who do we think we are talking about the Bills are 3-0 and typical Bills podcasters, like comments like that? It's like, listen, man, if you can't critique, then what are we talking? What are we doing here, right? This is a podcast. We're here to talk about Buffalo Bills, right? Even though we're 3-0, you still got to critique. You still got to be honest, right? You still got to see the good, the bad, and the ugly. You have to, right? That's what we do here. Now, maybe some podcasters don't. Maybe some podcasters are just everything's great here, nothing to see here, everything's fine. Look away. The Buffalo Bills are 3-0. We're going to Super Bowl, baby, right? And I can't do that. I can't lie. Like I have to keep shit 100. And for people to get upset, you know, who the fuck do you think you are talking about the Bills like that? And, you know, you're just a typical Bills podcaster out. Stop. Okay. Stop it. Like, you can't, are you telling me that after games, even the games they won, the coaches just go to the players, hey guys, we won. We're not going to even look at film. You guys did great tonight. I'm not going to even bother looking at any film. You guys we're 3-0. This is perfect. I don't want to talk about anything negative. Like, no, of course not. Even after wins, there's something you could have done better. Of course. That's in life in general. What could I have done better? I mean, what's wrong with that? You know, Keys over at Post Podium made a great point today. I heard him earlier. And he's like, man, even if my kids, right? Like, you know, if they're playing, you know, sports, I'll still tell them, you know, constructive criticism, right? Like, hey, man, you did good out there, but if you did this, man, you could even be better, right? There's nothing wrong with that. You're not putting anyone down. You're being honest. But if you don't tell them, right? If you don't tell him what he's doing wrong, or at least guide him, then he's going to continue to do the bad things the wrong way. So we're just here to bring points up. I don't get why people get so offended. And this show, by the way, we give the good as well. You know that. We're down the middle all the time on this show. But, man, like, once again, if you don't like the show, there's so many other podcasters out there. Bill's I promise you guys, there's like 50 of them. There's one popping up every day. I'm sure you will find, and I know of a few rah-rah channels out there that the sky is always blue, everything's great, nothing bad here to see. Trust me, they're out there. Go watch them, because they're going to give you all that. They're going to give you that Katy Perry music. I'm not going to do it here. Anyways, Robert, how you doing, brother? Some of the Bills TV broadcasters are saying the defense is improved. No, Robert, let's look. I'll give a little credit where credit is due as far as the Bills going younger on defense. I like that. I'm with that. But has anything truly changed what we're seeing from this year to last year? No. 3rd and long, still a problem. Right? Still can't get teams off the field on 3rd and longs, right? Still struggling. We're still struggling to get to the quarterback. What do we got? 2 sacks on the season? I mean, something crazy like that. We still can't get to the quarterback. We're getting pressure. But come on, guys. You got to get home as well. You got to get home. Right? I'm just saying, man. Like, guys, there's always room to improve. I just haven't seen it yet enough to go, yeah, man, this defense is, watch out for this defense. Like, are you truly that confident when we play games? Can you truly say, yeah, man, this defense, boy, they're going to shut shit down today? Come on, guys. You know what you say? Josh Allen. Watch out for Josh Allen today, because that's the truth. Right? That is the truth. Callie, this is our year to win the Super Bowl, but our defense scores, but our defense scares the shit out of me. It scares everybody. I almost played the real Men of Genius, and I meant to put Jarek on screen. Jarek in the house. Jarek, I don't know. Did you hear me ranting a little bit there about some people?
I heard the tail end. I heard the tail end of it, man.
Okay.
I get it. I get the frustration. Tom, you know how I feel. You know how I feel about this year, and you know how I feel about. You know, I think the defense in terms of personnel, I think it's about maybe a year or 2 more away before we actually get the talent of the level of what we want. But we definitely missed opportunities. We definitely missed a lot of opportunities to try to get some of that. I mean, you know. Yeah,
a ton. And then I was also telling, people here, man, dude, like I constantly get comments after we go live or videos or whatever about like how we're hating on the Bills and we're negative all the time. And it's like, dude, you know, I you know me, I keep things down the middle here. And look, my opinion and Mikey's opinion, your opinion, it's not gospel. It's just us as fans seeing what we see and voicing our opinion. But if you don't have to agree with it, we're okay with it. But to leave comments like typical podcasters don't know what the fuck they're talking about, or you're negative. But Jarek, like, and I know you have to keep things real, right? We can't just sit here and lie to people and be like, bro, this team rocks. This defense is special. Like, we can't do that because it's not the truth, right? People want the truth, right? And if you want to hear a lie, trust me, there is rah-rah channels out there, Jarek, you know that will just, everything's great. Everything's perfect here. We're 3-0. Life is fucking great here in Buffalo. Like, dude, come on, stop the bullshit. But you know what? If they want to fan that way and podcast that way, good for them.
Yeah, no, I mean, from a personnel standpoint, I mean, let's be honest. Like, we're good, but we're not great defensively. The defensive line. I know everyone's high on Deion Walker. I mean, for the most part, I've been trying to tell people that Deion Walker has that potential. We're still misusing him, by the way, because he's not a one tech. He's a three tech.
No,
he's a hybrid.
No, he's not.
A 3-tech, 4-eye.
His lower body is what scares me a little bit. He's just he's weak.
Right.
He's a weak lower body. If he gets stronger, right, like physically stronger in his lower part of his body, maybe he could turn into a one tech, but I still don't think he's a true one tech.
That's just the way his body's built. He has an amazing amazing strength for his upper body for obvious reasons. I mean, the dude is 7 feet tall with his wingspan. He's he is an exceptional athlete. The lateral agility that this guy has, how technical he actually is, in my opinion, as kind of more of a disruptor as a pass rush from those sort of positions. We're misusing him, but because we don't have, outside of Daquan Jones, we don't really have a true one tech, and this is kind of one of the things that I think, if Tommy was here, you would absolutely agree. We should have got a one tech to pair up with a player like Ed Oliver or with Deion Walker. We should have. And
100%. I mean, why draft TJ Sanders and then Walker right after? Like get one or the other and then get a one tech.
Three penetrating
right.
Three techs. And again, like, they're both raw players. One is more explosive. The other one is kind of more of a he's a hybrid player, right? He's a freakazoid athlete. He can play that two gap role if you want him to, but you're not going to get the best out of him. And that was my argument with Dwayne Carter. Dwayne Carter is being made to play that one tech position. He's not a one tech. He's a three tech, but he's a three tech. But we're playing him out of the positions, and you're starting to see that these players are starting to kind of struggle in areas that they're just not. I mean, they're just not. Again, can you develop them into being those sort of players? Sure, you can develop them into sort of being those players.
But not every.
Right.
And not every player can be truly right. And I don't think every player can be developed into something you want. Some can, and some just can't. Some aren't built to do that. Some are just built to play the position they played their whole life. You get what I'm saying? Right. So, and like I said, there is some that they have that talent where they're able to play a different position and be great at it as well. But that's not everybody, right? And I feel like sometimes they get caught up in that. 40, let me get to some of the comments. 40 Keys coming in. Everybody puts too much faith in Josh. He has 21 teammates. And by the way, Keys, this is Monday Night Uncensored, so I'm going to read it the correct way. Who the fuck is going to answer the call? So, yeah, you got it right, man. James Cook, and by the way, I'm eating crow on James Cook this year. I think he's living up to his contract 100%. I feel like he's getting better pretty much each game. I feel like he's gotten better since really last year. Like, he's surprised me how well his contact balance has been. I feel like his vision's gotten way better. and his strength. I feel like he's shedding off tackles a lot better. So I'm wrong. I'll definitely eat crow. I thought he was a good running back, but he's definitely a dynamic running back, and I'm glad he's here, and I'm glad he's living up to his contract, because not every player lives up to their contract after they get paid. So good for him. But outside of that, I mean, right now, like, dude, Jarek, my concerns, at least for the offense, and my co-host kind of disagrees with me, Mikey, and that's okay. We're going to agree to disagree sometimes, and that's the way it works. But I just, right now, this wide receiver room is just not doing it for me right now. It's shaky, man. I just don't think they're consistent enough. I feel like we're still having problems with separation early in routes. Now, they can separate later in routes when Josh is buying more time, but I just feel like they're not doing it. It's not enough, right? And I get we're scoring 30, and here's where the people are like, bro, you're hating. We're scoring over 30 points a game. Like, but guys, we can always get better. Like, that's the one thing I always tell you guys. Like, there's always room for improvement. And I do think these guys have enough talent to get better. Like, I don't think we have garbage receivers. I just think that right now they haven't put it together. And Joe Brady also is to blame.
Yeah,
go ahead.
To me personally, I actually put it more on Joe Brady than the receivers.
There you go. Yeah, I'm with you.
Because now I agree with you about saying this. I don't think we have this offense doesn't have a true number one receiver. I think we all expect Keon to take that next step. Again, I like Keon Coleman a lot. I think he's gonna make some strides, but in terms of being that actual like Stephon Diggs true number one guy, I don't think it's not on this team. And that could be a strength, and that could be potentially a strength, because Curtis Samuel, who again, he's a healthy scratch. I mean, he wasn't, he's more of a healthy scratch. And again, he's $30 million, and you're kind of wasting the contract that he is going. But he's a fifth guy. He's a fifth, sixth guy with the rotation, and that if Moore gets hurt, he can easily step in and play that role because of you can utilize him as a hybrid gadget player / slot vertical guy, so a vertical receiver. So that's the good thing about it, but. The Dolphins pretty much condensed the field in coverage. I mean, they were playing 30% of their snaps were in cover 4. They played a lot of cover 6, cover 3. They were just kind of really condensing the field, really forcing, really in a way begging the Bills to kind of go underneath and run the game and run the football. And Joe Brady kind of responded saying, okay, well, fuck that. We're going to run a lot of 12, 13, 21, 22 for the personnel. We're going to slow down. We're going to slow down the tempo. And Josh Allen, to kind of give it to his credit, I mean, Josh Allen didn't really force any passes. He had a lot of one-on-one opportunities that his old self would take. He didn't really take. But Joe Brady, at the end of the day, I mean, I thought that there were specific times where I'm like, okay, yeah, you can be a little bit more aggressive. Like when the Dolphins had six linemen on the line, they were playing more like 6 defensive linemen, 4 linebackers. That's the opportunity to like, okay, you could utilize the play action, maybe use some sort of post or deep crosser or a cross, or maybe a clear out, something in order for because at that point, if the Dolphins are playing that, they don't respect your receiving game at this particular occasion.
Yeah.
There were opportunities where I'm like, okay, Joe, I need you. This is an opportunity for you to attack, and he just kind of played it safe and conservative, where he just wanted to focus a little bit too much on the run game.
And I almost think that's a McDermott thing. I almost think McDermott wants it that way. I'll be honest with you. I think McDermott, at times when the Bills get a lead, especially when they get a lead, he goes a little bit conservative. He wants to kind of have these long extended drives, which is fine, but not when games are not out of hand, right? Like, we're up 10. For me, you keep going for the throat. And I feel like we don't do that enough or do it really at all. And, that's the coaching not to lose mentality, which I hate. You got to coach to win in the NFL, especially against or at least when you get in the playoffs. Let me get to some comments. And we do got my buddy, the Ralph Rant. If you guys don't know, now you know. By the way, Jarek, too, if you don't know, now you know. Go to his channel, Jant Sports. The guy is great. Covers obviously the Buffalo Bills and Alabama football. Though my Miami Hurricanes, number 2, the Hurricanes. You know what it's all about, the U. Anyways, Ralph, you can check out Ralph, the Ralph rant. You can see it right there behind him on the screen. He does really, really good content, and he's new to the Bills YouTube community, and his channel is growing pretty fast. So go check him out as well. Let me get to some comments, and I'll get back to you guys. Cali Blitz, my dude, coming in. Lions ain't no joke. They're running right through Ravens defense. This is a great game. I was saying earlier, even if you're not a Lions fan or Ravens fan tonight, you are getting treated. This is a Monday night game. This is what it's all about. The NFL scheduled this one perfectly. This is going to come down to maybe whoever has the ball the last 2 minutes of the game. It's very possible. Let's see here. 40 Keys, exactly. He's a 3-tech. He's talking about Walker. He's a pass rusher that's like saying Dirk Nowitzki can be a mid-range 3-ball shooter because he's a 7. Yeah, I mean, I get it. Let's see here. Some more. Tariq Woolen can't be a corner because he's 6'4". Get the fuck. Tommy, what up, Sean? Robert coming in. Beena McDermott is more worried about the pass, so they want pass rushers, yet the run destroys the Bills. Yeah, the run game, we got to get better at that, and that's once again just having bigger guys up front.
That's the confusing part about the Bills is that their edge rushers are not pass rushers; they're more edge setters or edge defenders. It's really their defensive, they get more pass disruptors for defensive tackles, more defensive tackles, and then they get those tall physical edge setters off the edge. I think that's kind of the more confusing part about a Buffalo Bills defense is, you don't really see us getting gashed into the outside. A lot of it is more inside zone. A lot of, offensive linemen are running a lot more combo and dual concepts, reaching to the second level to undersized linebackers. And that's just the confusing part about your defense is saying, well, you would expect for us to get a lot larger, making it difficult for offenses to get to for those blocking concepts to be a lot more effective, especially when you have 2 undersized linebackers and getting to the second level and them getting sealed out. That's the more confusing part about that.
And the problem too with our linebackers, and I love them, is one of them is constantly hurt. And I love Matt Milano. I do. Yeah. Milano when healthy is a well-rounded linebacker, really good, linebacker, good coverage linebacker. But the dude just can't stay healthy. He can't stay healthy. It's just been proven throughout his career, and he's had some string of bad luck, as well. But that's the NFL for you, man. You got to be, you got to be on the field, unfortunately, right? Or you got to go. So that's why they cut his contract pretty much this year. Will be his last year. I don't see him re-signing back in Buffalo. The Bills need to address that in the draft. They have to. They can't keep putting Band-Aids on things. And I think they learned that this past offseason. I'll give them credit. They're going young. And I love that they're going young. Let me get to some comments, and I'm going to get to Ralph because Ralph hasn't talked yet on here. So, Sean, in these playoff games, when it's time for someone besides Josh to make a play, they fail. Kincaid drops, Sherfield drops. You're forgetting another guy. Stephon Diggs dropped a key pass in a playoff game that was right in his hands. There's a lot of guys. Gabe Davis made mistakes as well. And you're right. I mean, that's the one thing I'll give the Chiefs, man. Their players, say what you want about them, but they tend to step up in big moments in the playoffs. We have to do that. I feel like we haven't, at least in some of the bigger moments and bigger games. And that goes on the defense as well, right? Like, I felt like the 13-second game, Gabe Davis, and I talked to Keys about this, and I know a lot of people shit on Gabe Davis, but and Keys is, he's, I don't know if he shits on him, but he kind of, we debate a lot about Gabe Davis. Like, I never thought of Gabe as a true number 2. I feel like after that game, he got a lot of hype, and he was kind of thrown into that role. He's always been a 3, in my opinion, but he's been a damn good 3.
Maybe a 4.
Yeah, but even that, I'll explain what I like about Gabe. In big moments, at least in a couple games, if you go back and look, he's probably our believe it or not, one of the guys that had, or stepped up for Josh in a crucial game. We didn't really. I looked at the stats right through it in the crucial games. He's probably the only one to do it against the Chiefs. He also did it a couple other games, Colts, and I think Miami. He had over 100 yards. Which, once again, go back and look at the stats. Diggs didn't have good playoffs with us. He had maybe a couple wild card games. He did okay, but big games, no show. So once again, say what you want about Gabe, but in big moments, he did step up. In that 13-second game, when we needed somebody to step up, it was him, right? You can say what you want about him. Our defense failed us. Our coaching failed us because they didn't communicate well with special teams and McDermott, and they didn't. The whole kickoff thing was a disaster. And then obviously the defense at the end was not good. Obviously, 13 seconds, you should stop a team. So I that was one game I felt like a player did finally step up for the Bills, other than Josh Allen, in a big moment. Like after that, though, name one player last year that had a big moment in the Chiefs game. That not really. Like it was well rounded.
Was their biggest receiver, right?
Yeah. So it's like, guys, you know what I mean? Like you can't have that. So I'm hoping this year's guys, which is a totally different crew, no matter. We replaced Mac Hollins with, Palmer, let's say Palmer or even more, right? Those are better talented wide receivers. But like I said, so far in this season, I'm just not – I want to see more, basically. I want to see better from those guys because I know we're going to need them. And right now I feel like they're still kind of finding their ways. And maybe that's something to do with just not being around with Josh enough. A lot of these guys are new. Khalil Shakir is still kind of probably bouncing back from that ankle injury. He looked better last week. I'll say that. That's a good sign, right? Because he is right now, I would say, our security blanket. He is Josh's Cole Beasley, right? When Cole Beasley was here. That's how I feel with the healthy Khalil Shakir. But when not healthy, that's where I think Josh, is looking for that security blanket. And right now, like it's kind of just going all over the field, right? It's whoever's kind of, on a scramble drills, whoever gets open. It's not really anybody in particular anymore, right? But I feel like when Khalil gets healthier, it'll be Khalil. It'll go back to Khalil being that security blanket when Josh needs a play to be made. What's your guys' thoughts on the receiver room? I'll go to Ralph.
Well, on the receiver, I mean, we're looking at we're talking about history. Previously here, we're talking about the 13 seconds game. I mean, that's going back. I mean, if we're talking about now, I think Buffalo has definitely improved the receiver room. Definitely, everybody eats 2.0 is happening. There's certainly chemistry that's developing between some of these receivers and Josh. I heard an awful lot about how the Bills didn't go downfield enough to these guys in the Miami game. You've probably been over this already. But they were playing. I mean, they were playing a lot of too high. They were playing quarters, as we saw. They had it capped. The thing I took from it was I don't think we've ever seen Josh at quite this level of maturity where he's just finding the right people in the situation.
Yeah.
And yes, I think it was a Thursday night. Teams can go in thinking, well, it's a tough spot for the Dolphins traveling on a Thursday night after a loss at home on Sunday. But as we well know, there is nothing more dangerous than a road dog that's a divisional game. And the Dolphins, they get paid too, and they played a good ball game. I think, yes, it got kind of close, certainly at the end, and the penalty. And we'll hear people say, well, if the penalty didn't happen. Well, it did happen. That's the thing. I mean, every one of these plays counts. So I'm not looking at it as bad. I'm really pleased to see how Josh is distributing the ball, finding people. We're finding guys that are open. I'm seeing guys open a lot more than we did last season. And they, they're, and I thought the win was very Patriot-esque, actually. Look, harkening back to the Patriots dynasty years and the way the Brady Patriots won a lot of games, which weren't always blowouts. Yes, sure, I remember the Sunday night where they dinged J.P. Lossman in 52-17, certainly. But a lot of their games, they are close contests, and I think the Bills kind of have that attitude and a confidence about them. It's still early. I think things are still developing. And on the defensive side, and I heard the talk about the edge rushers. And, yes, these are not the speedy, bendy type of guys that you might associate with, like, the stereotype of Von Miller, for example. We've got larger heavier compression style ends. And yes, the edge setting, as we talked about, the Bills dealt with a lot of speed on that team last Thursday night. But I think what's important for those ends to do well is actually the people in the middle. And we saw with Ed Oliver out, we saw Daquan Jones and Zion Logue, who are both really one-techs. When we did see Sanders and Walker out there, yes, they've got them. They're three-techs, and those guys are learning. We don't have everything going on in terms of the stunts and games as yet. That some of it's still they're learning. Some of it's still in the bag. I believe the Bills are keeping things in the bag to the extent they can and still win these games. But when you have Ed Oliver back in the middle, I think that will make a difference. And we get kind of a candid view of it because we had Ed Oliver versus Derrick Henry in Game 1, and yeah, the Ravens are an outlier as far as that goes. The Jets came in. They went to MetLife, and the Jets wanted to run. Buffalo did a fine job with that. Got a little bit of a running going with the speed and A-chain this past Thursday, but it was still good. I'm not quite the guy that harbors all the worries, so I'll be the one here with a bucket ready to put out some of the fires.
It's not so much worries. It's things that they need to improve on. Right, I think in life, right, we all can improve on something, right? It's impossible for us to just say everything's great in Buffalo. No need to look at nothing. Everything's great. Like, I don't agree with some of that. I think, look, the Jets game, I feel they did a good job, or really a great job, well planned, well executed to stop the run early, and the offense got up early, which created basically. Or what put Fields into a bad position, which was to beat Buffalo through the air. And, well, you saw how that went, 27 yards. So it was a great game plan, well executed for, pretty much for the most part. Like, they did not get going on the ground. And Fields, he's not Lamar. He's not even Tua, right? Like, Tua can at least throw, right? Like, it's just not in his DNA. So he could not do what, Tua did, which was take what the defense gave him. In Game 3 when we played them, and that's really honestly how you beat Buffalo, in my opinion. We are a typical kind of bend don't break. The only problem is with that bend don't break kind of philosophy is it's fine and it works if you give up field goals or you get some 3 and outs. The problem is if you don't and they score touchdowns, then the bend don't break is kind of suffering. And Miami on those drives. Some of them are long. They scored touchdowns instead of field goals. And the one at the end, obviously, with the turnover was huge. But if we don't get the turnover, they're likely going to score a touchdown. They weren't going for a field goal there. I'm not saying the game wouldn't have been over. Obviously, we'd had plenty of time to win that game. And I never was in doubt in that game, by the way, guys. I never felt like the momentum shifted. I felt like Buffalo still had that game in hand. But look, man, the defense has to get better. Especially in the playoffs. Like, that's what concerns me right now. Plenty of time. It's only week 3. We're week 4 coming up, guys. Plenty of time to improve stuff, get better. These rookies to learn from mistakes. And also the trade deadline. You never know what's going to happen. Maybe we get another key player in here to help out. But, we'll see when it comes to that. But the wide receivers, I go back on Jarek. And I know Jarek's been sorry about Jarek. I'll get to you now. Jarek was right about Joe Brady. I like Joe Brady. I do. I think Joe Brady is a good offensive coordinator. He's done very well here. However, as an offensive coordinator, you need to understand your personnel. You need to understand their strengths. You need to understand their weaknesses and use them in your offense the right way. I thought last week he did a much better job with Moore. He got more involved, did a little bit more creative things with Moore, and uses his speed as an advantage, right? That's what those guys are for, right? Those speedy guys, those jet sweeps, those pop passes, over the top, like that's what you use the 4-3 guys for. Just like McKenzie when he was here with Dable, right? McKenzie was never like, come on, you guys know McKenzie, but McKenzie did well here because Dable knew how to use McKenzie, his speed. He knew how to use him correctly in this offense. I just hope Joe Brady eventually, and it looked like last week he's starting to understand this, is each player has a role. I feel like if that's how everybody eats 2.0 is going to work, each player is going to have to provide something to this offense. You just got to put it into the offensive playbook and get Josh comfortable with that as well to go to these guys, right? So Palmer right now, a little disappointing. I'm going to be honest with you guys, a little disappointing right now in Palmer's play. He can be better. I'm not saying he's terrible, but I feel like he can be better than what he's showing out there. I think Keon Coleman is still kind of finding his way, and I think he'll be all right, but he's still kind of finding his way. I love when he goes on slant passes, by the way. I wish they would do the slants more. I feel like when he does slants routes, defenders have a tough time with him because he's a big body. So they kind of get behind him. They can't really see the ball. He's sure-handed. Like I wish they would do that more with Keon. Even put him in a slot more, run some slants. He's just overpowering as a receiver. More, like I said, get him more involved. And Khalil Shakir, I think, will be fine. He'll, as soon as his ankle is 100%, you're going to see him much better. But
that
what's
will
your thoughts
every week? Yeah.
Yeah, on Brady. I know, Jared. We've been talking. There's Jared.
Yeah, no, I think Joe Brady in a way is fine. I mean, like I said, I think there were some things that I wanted to see a little bit better. Like, again, when the Dolphins were practically when they practically were literally running with 6 defensive linemen and pretty much had 4 linebackers on the field, I was hoping, okay, this is the opportunity for you to, use play action, maybe use some sort of RPO based concepts, run some clear out routes, some deep posts, something to try to, really get that secondary to respect that passing attack. Because at that point, again, we're running a lot of 12, 13, 21, 22 like personnel out there. And again, we're running with really, really good efficiency. But like you can tell that that was the Dolphins' game plan. The Dolphins wanted to, their offense was just to attack the outside numbers, extend the run game, so shoot on the clock. Shoot on the clock, and then when Buffalo gets the ball back, don't let Buffalo kill you with huge deep plays. Let everything come underneath you. Let Buffalo kind of kill their own drive and kind of kill their own momentum in that particular sense. So yeah, I wish there were some things that Joe Brady could have done to try to get that defense to kind of to respect that passing attack. But I mean, listen, Josh Palmer is a man beater. You brought him in here because we were one of the worst receiving corps last year in terms of beating man coverage. Keon Coleman's a man beater. Josh Palmer's a man beater. Khalil Shakir can beat man. So, again, the receiving corps is better than it was last year. It's a little bit more talented than it was last year. But this offense, the way that it is structured right now, it is structured for efficiency. It's not structured for more explosive plays like it was with with Ken Dorsey and with
Dable.
With Dable. It's literally 10 for Josh Allen to be a lot more efficient for that running game to get going. Jackson Hawes might be the MVP of this team.
Absolutely.
I love Hawes.
Yeah, Hawes.
Yeah, he's one of the better rookies we got so far, Jarek, I would say.
Yep. The amount of key blocks that dude has had in terms of just sealing off the edge, kind of, having like a huge chip when he before he leaks, or just, able to kind of get off to the second level, or just even, again, just, using him and pin and pull action. Like it is really, really effective, especially when they're using him on duo too. He's nasty. Like a lot of James Cook's big runs or key runs that it had was on with Jackson Hawes, and then Dalton Kincaid. You can utilize him on the outside of the blocker, who I think we've kind of found exactly what Dalton Kincaid should be good at in terms of blocking, and that's to kind of just go ahead and block the safeties, block the safeties, get to that second level, get to the linebackers and corners. Dawson Knox, we all know how good of a blocker that he can be used if you're using him as a second tight end. Like this is the way that this offense is. And then when you have Spencer Brown and you have, Andrews, we are arguably, maybe outside of the Baltimore Ravens. And I think the Ravens, not from a personnel standpoint, but really more its scheme with their offensive line, with their offensive line of how it's been for the years. I think Buffalo has the best run blocking, has the best offensive line in terms of run blocking efficiency and run blocking win rate in the league. We're the best. And so
I would say, I'm with you.
Yeah, that's what this offense is kind of tailor-made for. Obviously, if we need Josh Allen to put the game on our shoulders, we absolutely can. But not every team is going to play like the Miami Dolphins did, with this kind of more fear, kind of modern approach with their secondary. They're going to play, very vastly similar to what Baltimore, what the Jets have been trying to run. So we'll see. We'll definitely see about that.
What the Dolphins did Thursday was not really what they normally do. Offensively, I think they just kind of took a page out of. They took with
they got the
everything
numbers quick out screens, using a lot of kind of motion to,
yes,
a lot of motion,
I think they saw, and which was smart, a weakness in Trey, which is his speed, which is something I've been saying to Bills Mafia. I like Trey. Listen, I love Trey. Trey's an awesome dude. Trey's and by the way, Trey didn't play terrible that game. The problem is, though, with Trey is he's lost more than a step, right? And that's because of age and injuries, right? Two big-time injuries. To
be fair, though, that is Jalen Waddle. Like, Jalen Waddle's the...
No, I get it, but it doesn't matter. If you watch the plays, like, the thing is with Trey, he can't man up because he's going to get beaten quickly. So that's why he's playing really off. If you look at the goal line play for the touchdown, I mean, there was just no. I don't know I don't know why he didn't press there. That was odd, and he kind of got cemented boots there, right? Shoes. That play was just busted. Then the play earlier, there was another play later on where he just cannot. He can't. The thing is, look, we don't have fast corners. Yeah, and we don't have fast corners in general. But the thing is with our corners, and Trey used to be great at this, is they're able to get back in the play and make a play on the ball. Always. Like, Trey was great at that. Trey never was a big-time intercept. He didn't intercept the ball a lot. He always made a play on the ball, right? He was feisty with that. And that's what Benford is, too. Benford is not a fast guy, but he always gets back and makes a play on the ball. But Trey, because Trey's lost a little bit of a step, I felt like they were kind of going after him there. I'm very curious what they do moving forward because I know they're going to see the tape and see, it's a copycat league. I don't want people, I wonder if they try to attack Trey, put a faster receiver on his side, but we'll see. I'm very curious what they do with Trey. I don't think Trey's bad at all. I just didn't expect him to be CB2 to start the season. I got to be honest with you, and I don't know if Harrison doesn't get hurt, who knows, right? They could, it would have been a better competition, and we would have seen. The problem is with Harrison now is he's so behind with everything. I just don't know how much time he's going to get if there's not injuries. Right now, Dorian Strong, I feel like he should be out in the field, in my opinion, over Trey. That's just my opinion. But, McDermott sees it different. I'm very curious what they do next weekend. They continue with Trey at CB2. I'm probably guessing they will. But he wasn't terrible. I felt he had some good tackles. Thought his run defense was pretty good.
Yes, he's filling the run well.
Yeah, but I thought his pass defense, like I said, I know why he's playing a little bit more soft coverage because he'll get burnt. If he's playing too tight of coverage, they'll go right past him. So that's my only knock on Trey this year, and that's what I kind of felt. But everybody else is fine. I think Benford's playing pretty well this season. I have no problem with Benford's play. I thought Cole Bishop has played better over the last 2 games as well, which is a good sign. Taylor Rapp is Taylor Rapp. He's the guy that's just going to throw his body out there and kill anybody that's in front of him. That's right. But yeah, Calabas Henry's having a breakdown. I see. So, by the way, this score, 7 minutes left. Lions are winning 28-24 with 7 minutes and like 30 seconds. So, man, this game's coming down to the wire. Robert, Trey's a favorite of McDermott, and McDermott would rather lose a game than play a younger player. Yeah, I will give McDermott a little credit. He has started playing younger players this season, rather than in the past where he would go out and get an older player to play. So I'll give credit where credit is due, but I get what you're saying, Robert. Normally he does do that, but right now maybe he feels that Trey is his best option, though I disagree. I think Dorian Strong should have remained in there. I thought Dorian Strong did okay in week 1, and you got to give these rookies times on the field. I don't see them really the difference between Trey and Dorian. I'll be honest with you. I thought Dorian did just as good as Trey. So I would like to see Dorian out there, but but I will say McDermott has given these young guys an opportunity. So I'm not going to totally shit on McDermott for not playing rookies. He's played quite a few, actually. So we'll see what happens. Kyle, I'm curious, do you think Henry's size has to do with his fumbles and his running style? No, I don't think so. He doesn't fumble that often. But what do you think? What do you guys think about that? That's an interesting question. Do you think like his bulk, has that, is that why he kind of loses the ball there sometimes? I don't think so, but what do you guys think?
No, he got hit behind. That's how he fumbled. Was that now the first time against Ed was he carried the ball loosely and Ed just attacked. He
got lackadaisical with it.
He got lackadaisical and Ed just attacked it and he just ripped it out. The second time he just got hit with his blindside, just got hit right behind. Derek, he's had this habit since. I mean, you can go back to high school. He's had the same habit where he will carry the ball like really, really loosely at particular times because he's trying to go for like a stiff arm, and it's always when he's trying to go for a stiff arm. Ed Oliver fumbles, stiff arms. This fumble.
Yeah, true.
Always when he tries to.
You can't do that. Yeah, you're right.
And that's
you're right.
Good
point.
A lot of the problems come from.
Well, since he put the ball on the ground in game one, it's been open season too. They're going to be looking for it. Every single team will be looking for it.
Yeah, but I remember last year he had a couple too that were as that, but he's not a big time fumbler. So the guy over in New England, my God, the one guy, he's a good running back, but
Stevenson,
he fumbles all. Yeah, he's just I don't know what happened because year one, his rookie year was not that bad. Year two or year three, I think he got the contract, and my God, he just can't hold the ball. If you saw, bro, by the way, guys, real quick, the games over the weekend, were they not crazy? I mean, I can't. I was telling people before you guys came on, if you guys are better, if you guys gamble or do any kind of parlays, holy shit! I promise you, most of you guys lost your parlays because no one had Cleveland beating Green Bay. At least I don't think so. And the Falcons getting just destroyed by the Panthers. I didn't see that happening at all. I thought the Panthers would hang around, but I didn't think they would get just destroyed. Falcons had 0 points, nothing. Dallas, I mean, not that Dallas is a great team, but man, even Dallas is like a little disappointing there. Like I was a little surprised. How
about Russell Wilson throwing out of the end zone twice on 4th and goal?
Oh, dude, they got to make quarterback change. Bro, the Bengals. Listen, I didn't think the Bengals were going to win, but I didn't think they were going to get smoked. Dude, I think it was like 34-3 at half. It was the game was over. It was like over right there. The Steelers and Patriots were a good game. A lot of turnovers. The Eagles beat the Rams. That was a great game down to the wire. The Bucks and Jets was down to the wire. I mean, that was an awesome game too. Commanders, bro, they probably got the best backup. I would say Mariota. He's a damn good backup. They won 41-24. The Jags beat the Texans. Texans are playing bad this year, guys. 17-10. They just can't get anything going offensively. Chargers beat the Broncos 23-20. Seahawks, obviously, I don't think anyone picked the Saints there. They 44-13. The Bears, like I said, they just beat the shit out of the Cowboys 31-14. 49ers won by 1 over the Cardinals. I thought that was going to be close. 16-15. And then obviously the Chiefs beat the Giants 22-9, but the Chiefs just offensively, they're struggling a little bit. But if they get into the playoffs, they're still dangerous. So I'm not going to really, go, it's over for the Chiefs. The Chiefs are done. Like the Chiefs, if they make the playoffs, they are not done. Right? They are, until somebody kicks them out pretty much, then we'll talk. Right. And kicks them out nicely. Like, right. Where we can go, okay, maybe that run is over, right? But right now, I ain't counting the Chiefs out. I don't care what their record is, how they're playing early in the season. So, but what's your guys' thoughts on this weekend's game? Anything pop out, stand out?
What, against the Dolphins?
No, just in general, just this weekend's game, slated game.
But yeah, the Saints. It's okay. That's gonna be a interesting game against the Saints. I don't even really know what to say against the Saints, man.
Second road.
All I gotta say, Yeah, that shit better not be 14 and a half. How about that? That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna have a nice halftime report.
We're gonna have some big issues. The Patriots, I think they're a talented team. They're not a good team. So I think that we kind of found out about that. Jets with the Jets with Aaron. The Buccaneers are ravished with a lot of injuries. They're also very undisciplined. They had like 6 holding calls for one drive, which is crazy. But the Jets had a lot of fight. Obviously Aaron Glenn went viral for that dancing moment he had. That was
the run.
That was pretty.
That was cool.
That was pretty cool, man. But I think the Jets are kind of headed.
What's your thoughts on the Packers? The Packers being Browns, up 10-0 for most of the game and lost to the Browns. Yeah, that was a wild ending.
Yeah, Jordan Love is not a bad quarterback, but this is why I didn't go overboard when people were saying that Jordan Love is elite. Like, he's not. Jordan Love he's a solid quarterback, but they are too predicated off the run game. A lot of the successes play action, but also to the Browns defense. Probably that's the best defense probably in the NFL. Problem is the Browns offense is absolutely horrendous. Like the Browns will do that.
Yeah, where was Micah Parsons?
I thought the Packers defense is what's holding that team.
Yeah,
their offense is so inconsistent.
Not the problem.
Jordan Love is so like 10 points against them, but you got to score more. Come on, man. Your defense holding you through almost pretty much 4 quarters, giving no points up, and you can't get more than 10. Like eventually the defense is going to give up something. By the way, talking about defense, the Lions defense is getting after Lamar today. I don't know if you guys are watching the game, peeking over at the game while you're on the stream, but man, they are just attacking Lamar Jackson tonight. It is wild. Let me see I wonder how many sacks they got right now total. I mean, I've looked over there. They seem like they got a ton of sacks already. Let's see here. They got 6 sacks already on Lamar Jackson. That is, guys, 6 sacks on Lamar Jackson. That is, they are in attack mode. That's how you got to be. For me, you got to be aggressive. I love the aggressive. That's how you beat good teams, in my opinion. The Ravens got some points on them, but not a lot. I mean, 24, it's nothing crazy, right? And they got at home too. Baltimore's at home. They're flustered right now. You can look on the sideline, their faces. They don't know what the hell's going on. Yeah, they don't know what's going on. It's weird. The Ravens are a weird team because they got all that talent, but they sometimes, man, they just break down, man. But right now, the Lions, man, I'm a little surprised. I thought this game was going to be close, but I thought the Ravens would pull it out. It's still time, 4 minutes, not over. We all know how that works, but man, the Lions came in with a good game plan. I got to say, on defense, that's impressive. What do you think of Jarek about this game so far in this Lions and Ravens game?
They always got to spy on Lamar on passing down situations, and they've been ruthless aggression. But yeah, their edge rushers have been destroying their tackles. They're flustering Lamar, able to step up, and then once he just takes a little bit of a step, the spy just immediately goes. They're not playing. It's not like they're playing like any heavy, like any sort of heavy sets at all. I mean, they're playing a lot with light boxes. They're playing with a lot of light boxes. They're running a lot more dime than I think I've seen them run. But no, they're very, very aggressive. Yeah, the key difference, in my opinion, is just their defensive line. Like, they got the defensive tackles to really kind of go out there and handle the run game. Their edges are doing a really, really good job in terms of kind of collapsing that pocket, forcing Lamar Jackson and making him a little flush linebacker. And then you got the rest of these guys that can just clean up. I think that's the difference.
And they got speed. They got speed too. Like Hutchinson catching them. Yeah, catching Lamar from behind, tripping him up.
Jack Campbell.
And Brian safeties. I wish, man.
Who's got somebody here? Who is this? Matthew, what's going on, brother?
What's up?
What's up, man? How you doing tonight?
Good. Never called in before.
Oh, welcome to the channel, man.
Jump in.
So what's on your mind, brother?
Oh, is that Ralph?
That's Ralph. Talk to him, Ralph.
I always call him the fan. But I mean, I saw you having the. Of course, I'm subscribed to both of y'all, but I just gotta say, we're winning the Super Bowl. We're going undefeated.
I like. Whoa, undefeated. That's see. I'm not going to go there. I like the confidence though.
Dan said we're going undefeated.
Oh, Dan Mitchell. Yeah, I saw that. I saw Dan. Dan is listen. You know who else in the chat? Scott Blakely. He's confident too. Undefeated, 20-0. I just want to get to a Super Bowl. I don't care how many. What our record is when we get there. When we lose, I just want to get there, right? But I listen. We have a favorable schedule. No doubt about it. This is definitely a schedule that is favorable. We have a lot of tough games still coming up, but they're at home, right? These tough games are at home. And this could be a special year. Last year, obviously, at the Ralph, the Rich, whatever you guys want to call it these days. So, man, who knows, right? Is maybe something special brewing in the air for this season, I hope, as a Bills fan. But I love the confidence, brother. Undefeated. And it would knock those Dolphins off that map, all right, of being the only undefeated team. That would be really special because I hate the Dolphins. But, yeah, what's your guys' thoughts on undefeated season? Ralph, what do you think?
Hey,
undefeated.
I got to go. My friend's calling me right now.
All right, brother. All right. Later, Matthew. Good. Thanks for calling.
Go Bills. Thanks for letting me on.
Go Bills. Later, brother. No problem.
Hey,
look at that confident fan there.
We talk a lot about game script. We hear this an awful lot when we're talking about how games go in game script. There is another term that is season script. And I am convinced that the Buffalo Bills are doing their best, especially with the way the schedule lays out for them in these first 6-7 ball games, that they are keeping more in the bag than we know about. They are not putting things on film. They know that their competition is essentially the Chiefs, if they meet them again in the playoffs, and the Ravens. And there's talk that, the Bills have the easiest schedule in the league now. Well, they helped do that by beating two opponents that they will see again later in the season, being in the two divisional games we've won.
Yeah, I don't think it's easiest schedule. I would say it's favorable because
by
the tough games
by winning
we got at home.
By winning percentage, the Bills have the easiest schedule in the league right now. By winning percentage of their opponents.
Yeah, but that
season.
Doesn't matter. It's too early for that. I don't. And not only that, I'll tell you what. One thing we learned over the weekend, Ralph. It's any given Sunday, right? Sometimes you don't play up to your opponent. And you can get beat like a team like the Browns, right? I'm just throwing that out there. Like nobody had the Browns beating the Packers over the weekend, right? So you still got to bring your game. You can't take any plays off. We've known that as Bills fans. We've had games where we went Jaguars for an example, right? We gave that their first that one head coach, Urban Meyer, I believe it was. His first win, which is, come on, man. Like, we should have beat that team. It happens, right? Any given Sunday, sometimes you don't play your best and you lose. So that's why going undefeated in football and the NFL is super tough, right? Look at the Patriots, right? Nobody talks about that season. Undefeated, but they didn't win the Super Bowl, so nobody gives a shit. But they were undefeated. They won every single regular season game all the way to the Super Bowl and lost. So the end of the day, I don't care about that. I want a Super Bowl. Right?
Well, it's almost impossible for the undefeated thing. And there's an argument to be made that you don't want to do that because you saw what happened to the Patriots in that last game. And a lot of times it's good to maybe get one of those losses. But on the other hand, if the Bills keep on playing this, it's sort of like a minimalist approach to these games, which, got a little uncomfortable against Miami, but I think I see them holding things back a little bit, and also they've got a defense that needs to develop more. And there's too many kids, and it just is going to take some time to get together, but I think it will come.
And we got Hoyt coming back, Omajobi. Hoyt, I'm not the Omajobi guy. I know I'm butchering his name. I'm not I'm not. We'll see when it comes to him. I'm not that guy. We'll see. I'm not overly excited, but Hoyt is the one that I'm like, okay, this guy's a unicorn. This guy, he's played very well with the Rams. So that's a very interesting player to watch for when he returns. I would think they're going to probably slowly insert him in since he's missed some time here, obviously. But you should see him week 8 a little bit, and then slowly by week 9 you'll see more and more snap count, I believe, as the season goes on. But by the way, the Lions they just scored a touchdown.
Yeah, they pretty much
38-24. Yeah, no, it sealed it. There's a minute 42 left.
The Ravens are flawed.
That's unbelievable. Oh, 100%. 100% they're flawed. And tonight proved it. Tonight was a big test for them at home, by the way. Now, look, it's a long season. I still think they're a playoff team. I still think they're dangerous. They got playmakers, but you're right, Ralph. They are flawed. They have flaws. They have holes in their game.
The secondary is tough.
Especially the secondary. But tonight, I felt like the Lions' run game, they thrashed them. I mean, let me see their yards on the ground, but
especially Montgomery. Montgomery and that on that drive from the 2-yard line.
Montgomery 151 for Montgomery tonight. 67. The running backs total 4 touchdowns, 2 for Montgomery, 2 for Gibbs. That's a game, guys. That's an attack. Would you guys say that's the best 1-2 combination right now?
Oh, it is.
RB1, RB2. Right? You would say
the last three seasons, yeah.
Yeah, they're just that's and they got a good offensive line too. I will say I thought they were going to go down a little bit. They lost their center, but maybe I'm wrong on the Lions. I thought the Lions were going to have a little bit tough time this year. They started off rough against Green Bay, but boy, they bounced back. Man, they've looked impressive over the last 2 weeks. So it's this game here. Yeah, I mean, I think the Lions. You could say safe to say the Lions are back. They're back to being the Lions that we remember from last year, because that first game it was not good for them. So it goes to show you, man. Sometimes week 1,
Well, division games are strange. Also, division games in this league are always going to be strange. And
absolutely.
So, but yeah, it's amazing result tonight.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. So yeah, guys. Anything else that you guys want to talk about tonight? Jarek, Ralph, anything that's on your mind? Or chat?
I'm about to head out.
You're out. All right, Jarek. Hey, thanks for joining us tonight, man. Appreciate you, brother.
No problem, guys.
Yeah, good stuff, man.
All right, you be good. Later, brother. All right, then we're down to 2.
Down to 2.
Down to 2, Ralph.
I got my list I made here of. I've got a bunch of questions here, and the answer to all of them is no, because I think Josh Allen has kind of wrecked the league for quarterbacks.
Yeah.
It's just like, we'll go Jeopardy, and the answer is no. And what is the question? Jordan Love, Russell Wilson, C.J. Stroud, Michael Penix, Drake May, J.J. McCarthy, Burrow's hurt, Prescott, Brock Purdy is hurt, but fragile, just like Burrow. Spencer Rattler, Kyler Murray. That is like 30% of the league that's got quarterbacks that just are so far removed from the standard Josh Allen has set that it's changed the game a little bit. I mean, we always used to talk about great quarterbacks, but I think it's even more so these days. And Aikman and Joe Buck.
Callie, yeah. Troy Aikman, Joe Buck slobbering over Lamar and Henry's radiator hose in the first half. These announcers sometimes they have certain players, and you're right, Callie, that they just are in love with. Everything's so great. They're perfect. And tonight, there ain't so Lamar with another sack. Got sacked again. My God. I mean, take him out, coach. You're going to get the guy killed at this point. But you're right. Going back on Josh, Ralph. Listen, man, I told people the other day, man, because somebody brought up, just a hypothetical was like, would you take 4 first-round picks for Josh Allen? And I said, no, God, no. I want to take 5. I want to take 6. And I'll tell you why. And it's a real easy answer. And I know it's crazy, right? Because you think about it, you're like, holy shit, that's a lot, right? You could do so much. But there's 32 teams. There's 32 quarterbacks right now, right? There's only really 2, maybe 3 if Burrow is healthy that you could put on that. Or no, not Burrow. I'm sorry, Mahomes. So we'll count 3. We'll say 3. That's on that tier 1. You're just not going to find in any draft kind of quarterback, which is obviously Allen, Mahomes, and Lamar. We will count Lamar because Lamar is special. He has the tools. However, you're just not the chance of you finding one of those three guys in a draft is slim. It's slim, and you can find a really good quarterback, no doubt about it. There's really good quarterbacks in the NFL, but you ain't gonna find that type of quarterback in the NFL, and that's why I would never do that trade ever, because the likelihood of you finding a guy like that is a slim chance. And I'm not dissing anyone else's quarterback that's out there from another team. If you're watching and you think your quarterback's really, really good or great, but being realistic, Josh Allen and like I said, Mahomes and Lamar, those three guys are just on a different level. You take those guys off their team, it's over with, right? And I just feel like Josh does so much for this team that I don't think you can find that.
One of the problems with the quarterback in the NFL, and it just goes back to the drafting, and we get guys that are selected high, but a lot of these guys are coming from like Power 5 schools where there's great recruiting, and they are spending their college years throwing to wide open windows because they got the best receivers in the state or the next 3 states coming to their school. Yeah. Josh Allen faced so much adversity in college in terms of pass rush with linemen. I mean, his last year, they lost a couple of linemen or a lineman to the NFL, so he's getting a lot of pressure. He was throwing darts then also. He had guys not catching balls that were going through their hands, but he had to throw into tight windows. And a lot of these guys that we see that are drafted have come from programs where they are able to go excel because you've got all these best players that are recruited and they don't see enough adversity. And then when they get to the NFL, they see adversity, but many of the situations in the NFL where you've drafted a quarterback with the first pick are because the team is in bad shape, bad management, bad coaching perhaps, but moreover, they draft that quarterback trying to hang their hat on them, and the guys don't get developed. And it's amazing. A lot of times we associate people that have a lot of money with brains. And as Mark Twain once said, it just ain't so, because people make bad decisions and then they how many good quarterbacks have gotten ruined in this league? And it's an unfortunate thing because it would make the game far more enjoyable and competitive if, like this game we watched tonight, which are two good teams.
Still going on. Yeah.
So entertaining, right? And so it's but I think
so
that's
a good
point about quarterbacks.
I agree with pretty much everything you just said there. I don't know why Baltimore just did a 2-point conversion anyways, back on Allen. So there's a couple things that you mentioned there too that I obviously agree with everything, but being in Wyoming, the thing with that too is he didn't have the receivers and he didn't have the best coaches. Let's be real, right? Wyoming's not stacked with the best coaches like Alabama or an SEC's college, right? One of these big time colleges, right? So he obviously is, he as far as them getting developed the right way, his mechanics and all that, quarterback coach probably wasn't on that level as, like I said, one of these powerhouse schools that could develop him properly, right? To that. Yeah, it didn't have access. Correct. So I felt like, when we interviewed Allen, Bean and company, they saw obviously how smart he was. His Wonderlic score obviously was through the roof, and obviously his tools, right? His big arm, can run, his size. And they knew though that there was work that needed to be done, right? But if that work was done and he could put it all together and get all those things corrected, he could be special. And that's really what you saw. And obviously the player needs to put the work in himself, right? You got to take that extra step and work in the offseason. And that's what he did since day one. We got him, we drafted him. He got with Palmer. Worked with Palmer every offseason for like the first 3-4 years.
Sure.
And then he got with him. Then he fixed his mechanics, figured out what was going on.
He's still working with Greg Haas.
He's still working with.
How come Greg Haas isn't booked Is it booked?
I tell you what, he will be. He'll start being. I think people will start taking notice on what he's done with him. Also Palmer, but you saw Palmer started getting booked too. Palmer started getting a lot of quarterbacks also going to him for help. But I'll say too, there was a lot that played into or had a part into Josh's development. Obviously, I'm gonna Dable, and then Dorsey was a big part as well. He worked with Cam his MVP year. Cam gave Dorsey a ton of credit for helping him that season, for becoming who he was his MVP year. Mm-hmm. So all that stuff, if you combined all that, and then obviously Josh, wanting to be better and improving, this is what you get. These are the results you get, and I still feel like Josh is still improving. Right, he's still getting smarter, and like you said earlier in the podcast, he's not doing the things he once did in the past, where he's taking more gambles and throwing it deep when he doesn't need deep or triple coverage, or he's understanding that there's always another play, right? There's always another play. Let's throw the ball away. Let's whatever you got to do. Let's slide more. Let's get out of bounds more. If you notice, he's not taking those hits anymore when he runs. For the most part, he's sliding a lot earlier, right? He's understanding that the team needs him out there.
He's like a bionic Brady.
Yeah, and by the way, he hasn't missed a game since 2018. Knock on wood, right? His rookie year when he got hurt, and like I said, knock on wood again. So the guy is he's tough as they come. Great. Love the dude. Great dude. He puts everything out there on the field. By the way, the Lions did wind up winning 38-30. That was a great game. That was a really good game. Back and forth, but the Lions, ultimately their defense, to me, I mean, obviously the run game, but their defense, man, with that many sacks, I think they finished with, let's see, their total sacks they had was 7. I mean, that's wild. 2.5 by Muhammad, a half sack from Zune. Hutchinson had a sack. Everybody, Nowatzki, I mean, you name it, they had a sack, man. Campbell, and I mean, Lamar wasn't even terrible. I'll be honest with you. 21 of 27, 288, 3 touchdowns. That's a good game, but the sacks, you're not going to win. You're getting sacked 7 times, right? That's and then obviously your run defense can't stop the Lions. That's a recipe for disaster. And turnovers too. I believe they had a turnover as well in this game. So the fumble,
when they fumbled, and they got it at the 20. Did the Lions? Yep. And,
exactly. So you can't. Turnovers will kill you. You know that. We obviously beat them. The momentum shift in that game was because of the Henry fumble. So, that's how good teams win, man. This is exactly how it's shown right there. And I hope we can get there one day defensively. That's all I'm saying. I understand. We have some young guys here. Hoyt's coming back still, right? That's a key addition. Nielsen obviously is a great signing for this team for defense, but I they got to put it all together still. I still feel like it's still a work in progress, but we got plenty of time to get it right, and they got to get it right, because if they don't, I'm just saying, if they don't, Ralph, by let's say we're getting closer to the playoff time, then it's going to really rely on Buffalo's offense, right, to be electric. Because if the defense isn't right by, let's say, week 15, we're still kind of having these issues with. Now, I had this pulled up. I want to show you this. This is a bad, not this one. Let me pull this stat up for you. And this here I don't like, right? And this is something that we've had an issue with. Let me pull this up for you real quick, and then we'll get out of here in a minute. But let me find it. Give me 1 second, Ralph. Where is that? Yeah. Let's see here. Is it this one? Oh, here we go. Okay.
Yeah, the third downs. I knew that was coming.
So the third down problem. So right here. So I mean, this is not good. So Buffalo struggled to get off the field in recent seasons, particularly a season ago when the Bills' defense allowed its opponents to convert on 44.54%, almost 45% of third down chances, which was third worst mark in the NFL. To begin the 2025 campaign, Buffalo picked off right where it left off when it allowed the Baltimore Ravens to move the chains on 6 of 11 third down. The Bills' defense followed that up by a rebound effort against the Jets, inferior Jets team, but took a significant step back in that department against Miami.
Yes,
too many third down conversions. Yeah, where Miami quarterback Tua was extending the plays more than I would have liked to have seen per Sean McDermott post game. So even Sean McDermott understands that this is a trend. This is something that is a trend since last season. They got to fix. They have to fix it because you're getting them in third, especially third and long. So you're doing your job on first and second down, getting them in a third and long. There's no reason why at that point you shouldn't have a better success rate of getting them off the field. That's an issue that they have to fix. And that's up to coaches and obviously personnel. Like the players also have to execute as well. The coaches can only do so much, right? So, yes, Big Papa Bill, Lions beat the Ravens. And by the way, that's a great thing for us.
Oh,
right?
That
right,
is
Rob?
large. That is so large. So large.
Yes.
Because
absolutely.
I mean, the Ravens had to have allowed the Bills to come back from 15. You know, and yeah, it would take a Josh Allen to do that. But to allow the Bills to come back from 15, there are flaws. And we could talk about schematic flaws. We could talk about play calling flaws.
Yeah.
But I think there's a character flaw on that team. And
and I think the coach, I think Harbaugh plays a little part of that as well too. To be honest, and I like him. He's a good coach, Super Bowl winning coach. But he had that. You're right, Ralph. Like there's some holes in there. There's some flaws. There's some holes in their game.
And as far as this third down defense, we can't approach third down like we are first and second. I mean, you saw what the Lions were doing tonight to contain Lamar Jackson, and that was really the key to this whole ball game. And I haven't even watched the rest of it yet. So, the Bills, on the other hand, and maybe you don't expect this from Tua. You don't expect Tua to get off the spot and run for 15. You don't expect him to get off the spot and roll out to his left and hit Jalen Waddle downfield. No, but I mean this idea of being able to cage in players, and I think the defense is still coming along. We didn't see our offensive line develop overnight. And I saw a comment earlier stating that we can never get rid of Aaron Cromer. Absolutely correct, sir. Absolutely.
Oh, yes. Whoever said that, you are 1,000% correct.
And I believe that Ryan Nielsen is a counterpart on the defensive side of the ball to Aaron Cromer. And I think he's developing this, and it's not going to be instantaneous, especially when you have two veterans that you planned on that aren't there, White and Ogunjobi, and you've got two very good brand new 3-techs that they're getting their feet wet, and they are learning as they go along. And there's a lot going on in that film room and demonstrating what they've done. And then Landon Jackson learning also. He's trying to maybe he gets a jersey against the Saints. So I think it's a work in progress. And I think when Max Hairston returns, I think him and Ogunjobi could make the biggest difference if Hairston comes in and has that speed, because if you could imagine us having had that speed on the other side in place of Trey White, because you're not going to see Hill and Waddle every game. That's an unusual circumstance. But I think it has hope, but definitely, I mean, there's improvement to be made. What I like is that they're actually winning. Even there's just a mindset and a thought process that allows winning. And when you get past, even if you have to get past these problems like we're talking about. I'm with you on that, but sometimes winning can create a little smoke and mirrors where you're not paying attention. Like where fans sometimes don't want to at least address, hey, like we do need to, I was talking earlier about some fans getting upset with me and, we'll have comments that, you guys are negative and you're shitting on the team and how dare you talk. And it's like, bro, in life in general, you're going to have to, you can always be better. You can always improve. There's always things to look at and go, hey, like that, like we need to do something better here because it's a long season and things need to be corrected. If you want to win a Super Bowl, there's only one. So that's all I'm saying. Yeah, this has nothing to, and I look at the good too. I don't just talk about the negative. People sometimes
they don't realize that. But records sometimes can be a little deceiving. I'll tell you, it's crazy. But and if anybody watches baseball, I'm not like huge into baseball, but I watch. My favorite team is the Detroit Tigers. They are on a epic collapse. One of I think the worst in MLB history if they don't make the playoffs. And to be honest with you, their first half record was unbelievable. But I kept telling people that is smoke and mirrors, man, because that team is the same team from last year with big holes. Right now, those guys are going to come down to reality. All those guys that are hitting well right now, that's just not what they do. And sure enough, you're seeing it in the second half, man. Their hitting has gotten atrocious. Their pitching has gotten even worse. They got one good pitcher. That's it, Scooble. And, I mean, Cleveland is 1.5 games back with 6 games remaining in Cleveland with a 3-game series. That's it. They lose the series to Cleveland, that's probably a wrap. So it's crazy. But once again, that's what I was saying. Sometimes records don't always indicate, that everything's great behind, with the team. I remember one year, I don't remember the year, it was the drought years. I don't know if you remember this, Ralph. I think we started like 3-0, maybe even 4-1 or something like that. Great start. And then we just had this epic collapse.
It was 5-1.
And really,
it was 5-1.
5-1. Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
It was just, and I think we won 1 or 2 games.
Dick Geron then lost 7 out of 9.
Yeah, and I was like, I remember I was feeling it, but this is before I was really like, having into, watching the film and understanding things. I was more like, yeah, look at that record, we're winning and everything's great. But realistically, we had there was issues, right? That like the record really didn't really, go for what the team really had on the roster and everything else. And it showed right at the end, but.
This is one
I'm
of
not
the
saying this
reasons
is the fact here, but
I really actually was really glad when the Bills had the Ravens for Game 1. I know a lot of people want to see a cupcake in there that you can get by even if you have a slow start, like we've seen the Jets a couple of times. We saw the Cardinals, of course, last season, and I'm glad it at least wasn't a cupcake to start, and I'm glad we haven't seen 3 like 33-10 kind of wins.
Yeah, true.
You want to see them get challenged, but I think they are going to grow. And you can grow after a win, and you can grow after a loss, and it's better to grow.
That's a great point. It's a great point, actually, and you're right. That first game, I said it to everybody too. Yeah, there's some easy games after that, but that game's that game's going to kind of tell you a little bit right there. Even if you lose, you want to be competitive. And obviously we won, right? And we were competitive. Even if we lost that game, I wasn't going to totally hate it as long as we clawed back into the game, which we did. But ultimately, we got the job done. But this team, like I said, I have confidence in this team. I tell people every offseason, this team, guess what, guys? We're going to win the division again, right? This team's a playoff team. It's just we got to figure it out in the playoffs, right? We got to figure out how to get to February. Right, that's the ultimate goal. January, we're good. We're going to January, no problem. Like, I have that much confidence in this team with Josh Allen that we're getting to January. It's the February part where, we are struggling to get to February. So, but great point here. And this is why stats alone don't mean anything. Lamar played like shit second half. Dude took a 30-yard sack, but look at his stats. So, listen, I am 1,000% with you on this if you're still here. I say it all the time. And there's these national media guys, these sports media guys that don't watch games. They only look at the stats. They only look at the scores. And they sit there and talk like they actually watched the game and they know what happened. And this is, and when we're talking about a quarterback who threw 2 interceptions, well, and he's played terrible. You got to be better than that. Well, did you watch why he had 2 interceptions? Probably not, right? Did you see that the ball was thrown right into the guy's chest and bounced off? Did you see, what I mean? So stats listen, I'm not saying don't ignore the stats, but sometimes stats can be deceiving. 100%. You don't know especially if you didn't watch the game. Like, there's some commentators or national guys out there, they don't even know who played who. There was one guy that thought we lost to Baltimore in the playoffs. Yeah. We've never lost to Baltimore in the playoffs. So what are you talking about? So, like, right there, anything you say from that point on, I'm not listening to you. Clearly, you have no idea what you're talking about, and that's what I tell people all the time who aren't Bills fans, who try to debate me on Allen. Like for years, I defended Allen. Allen's trash. He can't win the big game. Have you watched? Did you watch the game? Do you see how well he played? He's one of the best quarterbacks ever in the playoffs. How is he losing the game? What are we talking about here? So, like, and of course they don't. They look at the score after. Oh, you guys lost again. Oh, Allen threw an interception. You know, maybe let's say Allen had. Did you watch? Did you see why he had an interception? All right. So,
well, yeah, the national notion that the Bills either if Josh is just Clark Kent, they must have gotten lucky. But when they win, it had to be on Josh's shoulders. The biggest issue with the national talking heads is what we're all looking at right now, which is YouTube, because you have so many spaces created with great commentary that's really dialed into a team, and there's just so much more information and knowledge and good takes out there that are based on really watching things. And in being a national guy used to really mean something, and now you just can't help but have less respect.
Yeah, it's all clickbait in a way, right? It's all for, now the new thing is these debate shows, which are ridiculous. They're the most ridiculous things ever. Now you got like these guys that are fighting other national guys. That's the new thing now, and a lot of these guys are going.
Ryan and the other defensive back, I forget his name. Yeah,
exactly. They're always going at it, but a lot of these guys are moving to podcasts as well on YouTube. So they're flooding the YouTube now. And all I can tell you guys is look, and Ralph made a great point. Like, there's so many great channels out there that cover every kind of team, right? Not just the Bills, Dolphins, Jet. Like, you could find a guy that's passionate, knows the stuff, and might be your cup of tea. Because I may not be your cup of tea. Ralph may not be, or maybe you like mine. You don't like Ralph. You like Ralph. You don't like we're all different. We all bring a little bit something different. There's some channels out there that are, and trust me, I know, because I've met a few that are just strictly everything's great, rah rah, and that's okay. If you want to fan that way, there's nothing wrong with that. And there's other channels that lean one way, also that are very more not negative, but more on the whole. Hey, we need to get better. We need to get and I feel like I try to stay down the middle and be fair as I can be. I know sometimes some of you guys are like, oh my, this fucking guy being negative all the time. But I just, I'm venting in a way. I'm also showing you guys my frustrations as a Bills fan. And it's just opinion based. Like, and I'll say this is not gospel. You guys don't have to take it at that. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to agree with Ralph. But, I don't, when I started this, I never wanted to be a guy that bit his tongue, that just sat here and said, the Bills are the greatest thing ever and nothing's wrong, right? I don't roll that way. I also, somebody's talking about the stats earlier, the whole PFF thing, the whole grading thing. It's cool and stuff, and I understand that. And sometimes it's helpful and meaningful.
It's a lens to look at it through, definitely.
Exactly.
I mean, you have shows that are based on stats and film analysis only, which are that's true empirical fact that you can look at. But this game is so complex and with so many different aspects that can make it change that there's just more to it than that. There are energies that we can't even measure or even have units for that go into this.
Absolutely. And to, I mean, my thing is the eyeball test, and you guys do it how you want to do it. Everybody's different. I go by the eyeball test. I always, I'll look at the all 22 as well. I'm not, we have access to that. It's always great because sometimes you miss that when you're watching a live. You don't get to see some angles. Maybe you're wrong. We've been wrong plenty of times when we do post-game instant reactions because you don't get to kind of see everything.
And plus you're kind of see it.
Yeah, exactly. And not only that too, it's just kind of you miss some stuff, and an instant reaction is it's tough sometimes because sometimes you kind of harsh on a player, and then you go back and look and be like, oh, maybe I was wrong. But look, at the end of the day, man, it's all opinion based. All these podcasts, and no one's perfect. We're gonna get some things wrong. I get things wrong all the time. I get things right sometimes. So, like I said, fan how you want to fan, but we keep it real here. We keep it real here, as real as can be. But like I said, you don't have to agree with that. KC Baltimore. Well, I'm guessing. Or when are they playing next weekend? If they are. That I don't know. Jeez. I don't know. That's going to be a close game. I'm going to be real with it because I still don't think KC's that bad. Their records, what are they, 1-2? But they're still dangerous. I still feel they're a dangerous team. I don't think we should trust Tommy's eyeballs.
Because if you come in with a bad take, Tommy's eyeballs will bore through your soul. That's why it's by law he has to keep them covered.
That's right. They're alpha nose. No bones.
Let me ask you a question, Tommy.
Yeah, go for it, brother.
Did the result of the Sunday night opener say more about the Buffalo Bills or more about the Baltimore Ravens?
No, it told you. I don't even think. Listen, it told you that you can't teach heart and fight. And I feel like that game came down to heart and fight at the very end, right? Who wanted it more when the game was on the line? And you saw it on the sideline of the Ravens. They just didn't have the fight anymore. And the Bills did. And that's one thing Allen, I'll say this about Allen. And I think Allen brings that. He just brings that fight and heart. Like I don't know what it is about him, but he just, that guy, you just do never see him giving up, right? He's going to go down on a sword, or a shield, whatever. I love that about him. That's one thing I always will respect from Josh Allen, is the heart and fight. So that's what I took out of that game was, with this team, you can't teach that. You either got it or you don't. And Baltimore didn't have it at the end. I'm not saying they don't have that in general, but that game tonight they didn't either. When it came down to it, you saw the frustrations on the sideline again, right? You saw Lamar arguing. I saw a few times Henry getting upset. So we don't really have these breakdowns. I'll be honest with you, we don't.
Did you see Andy Reid bumping Travis Kelce?
Yes. Yeah, we don't. Now, and Andy Reid's a great coach.
Yeah.
But
no, it's just you just don't.
We've never had that problem.
And this game with Kansas City and Baltimore sets up so interesting. Yeah, well,
he's the only one that he had his little rants on this. He did it against obviously in the playoffs, and then he did it again the following year. And Sean had to calm him down. McDermott had to calm him down. It was the Lions game. I remember he went to the sideline bitching about. Yeah. So,
and then at the end, he had actually he's so manic that he actually ends up hugging Josh right at the end to get.
Yeah.
But
some people are like that. Yeah, some people are like, I don't mind a little edginess. You know what I mean? But not like that. I like a guy that I love the guy, and I'll tell you, Josh is doing better at this because early on in his career he didn't do it as much. But I love quarterbacks or leaders like of the defense or offensive side to go on the sideline and just get your sideline pumped up, like your offensive unit. You know what I mean? Get to them and be like, we got this shit. Like, I love it. Like, I love when quarterbacks do that, especially after, let's say they threw an interception or made a bad play. It don't matter. Like, you could tell, like, the best ones out there know, all right, let's put that shit to the side. We got this shit. Like, I love that.
You saw him do that at Wyoming.
You see yeah, it's true. But he didn't do it as much early on. I will say that here. No. But I think that's because he was learning. NFL's different.
Gaining his respect and knowing his place. I mean, he's not coming in like a gold chain wearing, number one pick out of Alabama or wherever it may be, Oregon or whatever. And this is the problem with some of these. I mean, you look at Oregon was great. Dylan Gabriel, and he's can't get on the field in front of Joe Flacco.
Right.
It's as
I
quarterback.
mean, it's like
they need a.
That's what he has, man. Yeah, they do. Somebody said, who said a great? I think it was Cowherd said he likes May, the quarterback for the Patriots, but he feels like he still needs about another 14 games to kind of like find his way, which might be true. Like May has all the tools there, but he's right. I think May is kind of those second year, for these rookies that go into their second year, quarterbacks especially, the film's out on you. And these defensive coordinators, they study in the offseason. Now the film's out on you. They know what you like, what you don't like, and your strengths and your weaknesses, and they will attack your weaknesses. Yep. And it shows you. It shows you with the Texans quarterback, C.J. Stroud. Oof. He's going through it. Drake May's kind of going through it, right? And I'm not saying they're bad quarterbacks, but these are things
McCarthy, but he got hurt again. So
yeah. Oh, dude, I know. And these are things that they all,
Penix.
They got to clean up. Oh, Penix was terrible last weekend. I mean, god awful. And he has he has good mechanic throwing the ball. Like his spiral is one of the best I've seen. But but you got to remember, you got to also you got to be smart quarterback too. You got to know your reads. You got to know where you can't make those mistakes. Pick sixes to the house. You can't have those, man. And that's one thing Josh has gotten so much better too. Turning the ball over, man. He hasn't turned the ball over at all this year. And somebody said, great stat too, I saw earlier, and I saw a couple days ago actually, was Josh Allen has the more points than 12 teams since I think 2020 or something crazy like that. I mean, that's a wild stat, right? When your quarterback
won the turnover battle for like a season and a half worth of games.
Yeah, the turnovers are huge. Yeah, I'll give them that.
And they've won a season and a half worth of ball games. The Bills have won the turnover battle. It's dating back that far.
Yeah, which is turnovers are everything. All right, we're gonna place two real men of genius. We're gonna get out of here, Ralph.
I've been waiting.
Yeah. So I got. So guys, we do this. If you're new to the channel, we do this every at the end of every live stream. Real men of genius. We usually play two. So here's the first one. I'll play the next one, and then we're out of here.
Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real Men of Genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Beach Metal Detector Guy.
Mr. Beach Metal Detector Guy.
Some seek their fortune on the stock market, others in real estate. But you look for loose change in the sand.
Hitting the jackpot.
Armed with a 5-foot Geiger counter and the world's largest set of earphones, you live your life with a simple code of honor. Finders keepers, losers weepers.
Finders keepers.
Sure, people mock you, but he who holds 92 cents, a gold-plated earring, and a steel-toed boot gets the last laugh.
Who's laughing now?
So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, oh Sultan of the Sand. We'd give you a medal, but you probably already found one.
Mr. Beach Metal Detector Guy.
All right, one more, then we're out of here. Those are so great, man. I love these, man. Let's see here. Which one we're gonna play? Oh, this one's funny. Let's play this one.
Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real Men of Genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Overly Competitive Touch Football Game Player.
Mr. Overly Competitive Touch Football Game Player.
A little friendly competition never hurt anybody. Unless that anybody happens to be the person you're covering.
Bring the pain.
Hands, no. Blazing speed, no. Unresolved anger after being cut from the football team 17 years ago, big time.
Oh, yeah.
I still have issues.
When it comes to two-hand touch, you leave it all out on the field. Your blood, your sweat, your dignity.
Dignity is overrated.
So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, backyard bruiser. The way you play the game will always leave us in stitches.
Mr. Overly Competitive Touch Football Game Player.
Bud Light beer.
All right, I'm gonna play a bonus one. Why not? Because we're getting out here a little earlier than usual. That's so funny, man. All right, the bonus one. Let's see the bonus one. What am I gonna play? The bonus one. Let's see here. All right, we'll do this one.
Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real Men of Genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Halftime Shooting Contest contestant.
Mr. Halftime Shooting Contest contestant.
For the promise of free t-shirts or a year's supply of socks, you take to the court ready to put on a clinic in abject humiliation.
Take 'em to school, yeah.
You keenly sense how much the crowd yearns for your failure, and you deliver.
From downtown, yeah.
It's hard to make a shot from half court, but it's even harder to make one when you shoot like an 80-year-old grandmother.
You're a star.
So crack open an ice cold Bud Light, Admiral of the Airball. You may not have won that new car, but you won something a lot more valuable. Our hearts.
Mr. Halftime Shooting Contest contestant.
Bud Light beer.
So true. We were just watching you shoot fucking terrible
They
shot.
did it at halftime at the Giants game. They had Eli on the one side. He's throwing in his target. The fan's throwing in his target. And Eli's hitting his. And then Eli throws a couple over in the other guy's target on the other side. It was funny as shit.
Yeah. Here's supply of socks. Anyways, guys. Hey, Ralph, I appreciate you rocking with me tonight. Where can they find you, man?
As always, my buddy. At the Ralph Rant 716 on X and simply the Ralph Rant on YouTube. And of course, 1 week from Wednesday night, October 1st, I will be bringing on the show Mr. Arthur Moats, the man who defined the term getting wood on somebody when he removed Brett Favre's collarbone from his sternum when he hit him from behind and ended his career. So we'll be talking about that and a bunch more.
Good stuff. Yeah, definitely tune into that. It should be a great episode on the Ralph Rant. So thanks, guys. Once again, Bills Mafia, I love you. And as always, go Bills. We're out of here. Peace.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Just let your soul go. Just let it shine.